art can really make people happier. It can bring people together. It can just enliven the spirit of a neighborhood. And then there's this real divide that we all know exists between people of different races and cultures and ethnicities. And in the case of Snelling and the Midway, that was what was very much apparent was that there was this divide between immigrant-owned businesses and many of the non-immigrants who lived in the neighborhood. So I just spent years kind of pondering what are the kinds of things we can do to make the community stronger, to promote economic development, and then to bridge cultural divides. And those were the three goals of the project once it was fleshed out a little bit. And public art seemed to be a way to do that. It's by no means the only way. It was just something that I thought would be really cool. Public art, to me, it exists in so many forms, but what's so powerful about it is that you can happen upon it. It presents itself to people who may not go to a traditional museum or to a show or to a live event. It's just there often. In some cases it's ephemeral or temporary, and that's pretty awesome in its own right. But I've just always loved murals where I've come across them throughout the world. So I thought, well, what if we could build this world-class art corridor with some of the best public artists in the Twin Cities? We could connect them with both immigrant business owners along Snelling, which is the most traveled stretch of road in the entire state of Minnesota, as well as to the neighbors, the people who live here and work here and play here in my neighborhood. I think in many ways Midway lacks an identity, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's it really is kind of this strange mix of folks, some of who've been here 50 or 60 years and remember what they might see as the good old days and lament the changing demographics or the traffic or but I think there's a lot of underlying tension around race and ethnicity that doesn't get said. I've heard more overt racism in this neighborhood than pretty much any time in my life combined. What I wanted to do was just kind of put us on the map. I wanted to say, here we are. Here's a place that you want to get out of your car and you want to meet people, and the businesses are going to be friendly, and the business owners are going to be wonderful, and they're going to welcome you with open arms. And the neighborhood really is kind of eclectic and diverse in every respect of the word. So I just went about seeking out artists who I thought were well respected, who had really interesting perspectives and aesthetics, and they were very different. I wanted different kinds of art.
So Phoenix is one of Japanese mythological animal that stand for like freedom, and so this is why I decided to paint the phoenix. The people who live there, we all have new day every day. Look at the bird and walk around the neighborhood. Look at all the way the Midway mural. Halfway mile stretch, you can see 4 mural, right? And so just it's good to know who are you. So sidewalk, run into the stranger. Oh, I like the mural over there at the road Philippine days, whatever. And I have seen the bird, the Japanese guy did it, something like that. And this is a Korean market. I didn't know that kind of, I was looking for market like this. So that's helping out, people live there, community and business owner, so they can feel more comfortable with each other, right? So I just want them to see the beauty through my painting and talk about art, talk about yourself, interacting and mingle with people. So that way people, feel more safer. Oh, I have a feeling about that, here talking about my neighbor or family, and just helping people out.
I wanted artists who also were committed to engaging with the community, that understood the purpose of this project was to try and connect with the business owners and the folks in the neighborhood.
So we did, I think 6 times of community meeting. So we did meeting and celebration party at the Turf Club. We invited all the business owner people who have the wall, and then we already painted for them. And people who live there, they came to the evening session, and I heard their opinion. What do you think? What we do? And questioning, what do you want to see for the wall? You know, some people were, oh, I want to see flower, I want to see mountain, scenery. Okay, blah 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 blah. And then based on that, basically I made a sketch.
I just love walking by when people are looking at them. Like, to me, I don't know what, you know, people can take different things from it. It can move them in different ways. It might inspire them. Maybe it'll tick them off. Maybe they'll think it's ugly. That's fine. Like, I've started a conversation. And if nothing else in this world, what we want is for people to be having conversations and to be expressing themselves. You know, while that project ended, we're continuing to try and build on that foundation and strengthen, you know, the public art scene or image or its actual, you know, how it plays out in reality in this neighborhood. And so when I said I wanted to build a world-class public art corridor, I meant it. Like, I want people in 10 years to say, I'm going to go over to Snelling and we're going to check out those like 12 amazing murals or whatever. But I guess the last thing I'd say is there's this interesting debate about creative placemaking, where we talk about it as we're doing this to, you know, to promote equity and to promote diversity and to make a neighborhood that might have litter or, you know, or vandalism on buildings to make those nicer. And what we often end up doing, not always, but sometimes, is contributing to gentrification, right? If I end up, let's say in 3 years we had 24 incredible murals and a bunch of hip little shops, well, that might make every middle class white person feel good, and we may have pushed out every last low income person of color. And is that really a success? You know, just because you can come to Snelling and it's super hip and cool. So you have to be very careful every step of the way when you do projects like this about who's really being represented and whom you're helping. So I try to do that.
Yeah, I like to see the painting, you know, someday. For example, when I live in Minnesota and then visiting Minneapolis again and, you know, visiting a mural and, oh, they are still there. That will make me really happy for sure. Yeah, because I always put 1% my soul into it. You know, it's like a mirror, me and my painting. It goes both ways. Also, that way to express myself.
Definitely.
I love it.
Others which are a bit more vague. Good bird. Good job. This guy loves art. He loves looking at art. It really captivates him.